Hey guys, it's postboxpat. Welcome back to a map change overview. In today's video, we're going to go over all of the map changes we have in today's update. There's a huge list to go over, and the first one I want to just mention is Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, all inside of Fortnite right now. Obviously, Darth Vader was in last season, but Darth Vader is now in game as a boss, and he'll spawn in the same spot every time over on this side of the map. Pretty cool stuff for the Darth Vader boss. This is where he spawns just outside of Greasy Grove, and you can get his lightsaber. Don't forget though, if you are picking up Han Solo, Leia, or Luke from the item shop, don't forget to pop in code POST before you buy any of them. It really would mean the world to me, and it goes a long way to help small creators like myself out. If you want to help me out, feel free to do that. It's up to you guys though if you want to do that. Optional, obviously, using support creator codes, as I always say. So there's your first map change anyway. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be looking at the outposts for the stormtroopers. The first stormtrooper outpost is just outside of Greasy Grove over here. We'll go over the others as we do get near to them, because there are other changes as we do travel around. But here's the first stormtrooper outpost, and there's rumors that possibly these could be saving us from the chrome. The chrome really is spreading quite hard around here, and the pirate ship has gone from this side over the map, so we are going to have to look for the pirate ship as we do continue to travel around. The blimp still situates itself over at Tilted Towers, and it has not moved on its additional map changes. I thought it might have, but this time it hasn't. Also down here on the lower section, you can see we've got another outpost here for the stormtroopers. Stormtroopers are no longer with Darth Vader, but are situated at different points around the map, possibly to monitor the chrome, just like I mentioned before, but obviously that's only a theory. You can see the chrome is spreading slowly, quite quickly actually. You can see it's now almost like kind of like a tree pattern. Like, look at that, just look at the chrome from up here. It's pretty crazy. It's even almost hitting Tilted Towers, so we're gonna have to wait and see what happens when the chrome hits Tilted. If it hits Tilted, it looks like it is kind of low in reinforcement, but I don't think it needs to be much, does it? Only needs to be a small amount, and suddenly it turns chromified. So obviously we'll wait and see what happens with that, but it's going to be quite exciting. All right, let's continue to move over to this side of the map and go over some of the other map changes over on this far side of the map, because there are some additional ones which we can have a little look at. So this is going to be coming in with the actual blimps and stuff in the sky, the balloons, I guess. Over here at this side, over by the lighthouse blimp, which has moved all the way over to the canyon over here. This is kind of interesting because this section, where the old Colosseum area was, has now been completely chromified. You can see this is all now chrome. Really cool. I like what they've done, but it's a shame to see this POI vanish. You can see we've still got the front gates to it, but if you go inside of here, it now just literally is kind of basically like the Herald Santrum, which is kind of neat, but obviously not the old POI, but it's kind of nice. Other than that, there's no other map changes here other than chrome spreading extremely. Now, if we move over to the Joneses location, we can see that the pirate ship has arrived in this spot over here, possibly to save a few different things, and it's really neat to have. You know, we've been tracking this pirate ship for a while, and it'd be kind of cool, imagine if it just goes back into the water, maybe no sweat will drop it into the water, because it doesn't look like chrome can go in the water from what we're aware of right now, but I might be wrong. You know, these things can change. And are they doing anything at the Joneses? By the looks of it, not really. It has got the vault following it around. Well, I don't even know, where is the vault that was following it around? There was a vault connected to it, unless that's it over there. I'm not too sure. Maybe the vault's just kind of just disappeared. I don't see it at all. So yeah, not really much going on here at the Joneses other than the pirate ship, which is kind of neat, but nothing too major. Now, if we keep rotating through the map, we can see we should be getting another tornado. We got two tornadoes so far. This one's over there this time. It does spawn in a random spot each time. This one here, but I've seen it further out. Now I've seen this tornado almost like to the middle of the map. So obviously things are happening with that changing. Wow, look at this, all the amount of chrome over the ground as we do continue to rotate through. Lots and lots of chrome everywhere. Really exciting stuff here. You can see the chrome's taken over this building a while ago, that was though. So the other map changes we've got are over on this side of the map now, over at the location of Sleepy Sounds. Now, we know that last week it was being lifted up, but now Sleepy Sounds has officially lifted up a few different structures. You see we've got this structure over here, which is this giant house, which was just outside of Sleepy Sounds, has now been completely lifted up. It's kind of funny that they lifted up the fountain. I kind of find that weird, but funny. It's kind of cool, I guess. I like that a lot. And obviously we've got this giant structure being moved around, which is some sort of mansion type structure. I don't know exactly what this is, but whoever's actually living here is definitely getting a little bit bored, because they've actually added in their own little kind of floating golf course as well, which is kind of funny. You can see we've got 3 little holes here. I thought that was a really unique little thing. Someone's definitely sat on here like chipping to these, driving to the long one. Maybe not driving, chipping, obviously it's not that far away, but definitely a cool one. So yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's really awesome. That's a really neat little change. I do like that. So that's what we've got there. You see Chrome again spreading more around the road over here. And as we're over here, I may as well show you guys the other final Stormtrooper location which got added in today's update. If we come over this side over by Grim Gables, which is now no longer Halloween POI, the boss no longer spawns there. You can see we've got this little this is a Stormtrooper little one here. You can actually see the Stormtroopers have spawned in game here in this situation. This guy looks like he's here trading with them. That's not me, by the way, it's just in the render distance. But yeah, here's a little Stormtrooper outpost. Looks like they're trying to stop the Chrome, but maybe they're going to get chromified themselves. They'll probably be gone in 2 weeks anyway when the next update drops, or maybe 3 or 4 weeks, because we've got FNCS in between. We'll have to wait and see how much time we have in between now and the next update. I'm not too sure. Also, if you come inside of Grim Gables, you'll notice that the boss spawn has been removed and has been replaced with a bit of rubble. So goodbye to our Ink Inquisitor, who is officially gone. The Ink Master himself has gone. So sad to say goodbye to him, but he is in the crew pass if you do want to access the skin. And finally, for today's map change video, our final little changes over on this side of the map. We do have the chromified area coming into the Christmas location, Logjam, where the location of the Crackshot cabin is. You see No Sweat Insurance has clutched up. They've flown themselves over to this side of the map to save the Winterfest POI, the Crackshot cabin over on this side. And you can see we've got that here, and it's just being lifted up by one of the balloons, ready for Winterfest, I guess. Other than that, that's all of the map changes we have in today's video. Kind of a weird one, not really too many map changes, but some really significant ones if you look where the Chrome's going and the amount of buildings being lifted up. I haven't really played too much BR to be able to explore all of this, but we do have some really big changes in creative as well, which I'm going to quickly jump into so you guys can check out some of these with the BR Island, which you can now play in creative. So let's take a little look at that if you are interested. Alright, so we've jumped into the creative BR. I just want to give you guys a quick 2-minute overview of this. If you're interested in creating your own LTM style game modes, this is perfect for you. So first off, it's got a few limitations. You're stuck on the spawn island here where I am right now. This is just for mechanics only. You can't get out of here. So you can't change the BR map. That's the #1 rule, which is quite bad, I guess, in that sense. If you wanted to build on the BR map, you can. But it's not the end of the world, because you can create a lot of different stuff. You have 4 different consoles in front of you. The first one is your loot options, where you can select the different loot and the spawn rates. It's kind of handy. You can check this out for yourselves in your own time. The next one is the deployment console, where you can check if they're going to spawn in Battle Bus or Rift. You can change the angle of the Battle Bus, you can group teams together, and also change the distance from the ground, etc. Also, the next one is just storm settings. You can change this. This is really handy if you want a long storm or a short storm. The last one is the map options, which target bots are just AIs. You got vehicles enabled, yes, and wildlife enabled, yes. Sadly, no NPCs or bosses do spawn in this mode. That's just a guarantee. I'm not going to start it up, but you'll see what it's like if you play it for yourself. It's just like playing a BR map with bots. No XP on this though, by the looks of it, from what I can tell so far. These are the only devices you're limited to on this island, which is okay. I guess there's a few different stuff here where you can create a few different game modes. I've already got a few ideas for some unique game modes that have never been created in Fortnite before, but it looks like you can only really assign people class settings, give them certain items, remove certain items, maybe use the marker to track maybe if they're eliminating someone, a certain type of player maybe. You could use the player reference maybe to track someone for something, and you can change their classes, their settings, their team settings, and just really just track in general things in general. A lot of these are going to be a little bit messy. It's going to be quite hard to do with limited mechanics without like mutators and stuff, but I think you could create some decent game modes with these. I look at these and I can think of a few different game modes that I could create, which I might do. But obviously stuff like capture the flag's not possible because you can't access the map. Stuff like food fight's not possible because you can't access the map. But a lot of things are possible, and I think we could create something quite fun in here. The downside to it is there is no way of earning any support creator. If you are looking at doing that, that is not possible in this. But that's not always the point. Sometimes with creative, you've really got to think of, you know, making the community kind of a cool creation. I think I've got some good ideas for it, and I'll give one of them a shot, or maybe 2 or 3 of them, depending on how hard it is to program with these limited mechanics. Anyway, you've got all the different weapons. For example, the melee manager's missing as well, which is weird, but you can, I guess, use the signal remote to assign people stuff. Wait, can you? No, you can't. There's no signal receiver. You couldn't use that. So you got all the weapons and items in here, but a lot of them are just not really useful. Like the melee weapons won't be very useful without the manager. The signal remotes won't be very useful without the receiver. Prop gun, I guess, is kind of fun. Consumables, everything's in here as well. So you could probably create something quite fun, but nothing really that's too OP. Also, the player marker still doesn't work correctly. So that's not going to help if you're trying to build like a map where you're trying to hunt down the capture the flag man or something. The player marker doesn't actually work. It's broken. So a lot of these things are really just not really, well, it might have been fixed in the update, but from what I'm aware of, it's pretty much broken. So we'll have to wait and see, really. But that's an overview of everything inside of here. Pretty cool, but we'll have to see what we can create.